Hello everyone, welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be looking at something slightly different. This is from an antique book, so it's an antique pattern and it is a cogwheel design. So it's detailed in the book. I've got a little copy here as a design for lacy woolen scarves. Right. There it is, black and white, and this you can access online as a PDF, print it off. I'm going to leave the link in the description box below. I'll quickly show you the book it's from. The Home Art Book of Fancy Stitchery. And this was presented to somebody in 1912, a lady called Ivy Askew. Second prize for holiday needlework, August 1912. Oh, she probably was a young girl when this was presented to her by the headmistress. I think that might be Ilford Church of England Girls' School in the UK. And as you can see here, it's the second impression. Okay. Oh, yes, I was going to show you where it is in, there it is in the book. Right, so we can work through. I'm going to be using a cotton yarn today. I've made some motifs using cotton. They don't take long at all. It looks far more complicated than it actually is. They work up in next to no time at all. The only tricky little bit I had was working out how to do the half motif, but those are not essential, and also how to do the edging. Right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm using a 4mm hook and some DK cotton yarn. This is actually by James C. Brett. But you can use any yarn, threads, or whatever you like to make this. So in the pattern it says to start with 8 chains. So with your slip knot, work 8 chains. And then join in the first chain with a slip stitch. Next, chain 5. And into this ring work 2 single crochets. Again, chain 5. And once again into the ring, working over the tail end, 2 single crochets. And you repeat this until you have a total of 5 loops. So we've got 3, we just need another 2. In the actual pattern it says to make 6 loops. However, that doesn't work. Well, it does, but you end up with a bunched up row of 5 chains. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chain loops. We've done our final 2 double crochets here. Now to make the 6th loop, chain 5, but instead of going into the center ring, we go straight into the first loop with 3 single crochets. Then chain 5, and then into the next 5 chain loop we need to put 3 single crochets. Chain 5, and you'll soon find out that you do lots of chain 5s and lots of single crochets, and that is all there is to this design. So you work your way round and around and around, and you just slightly increase this and you go on your way. 2, 4, 5, and then 3 single crochets. Five chains, 3 single crochets, and 5 chains. And then we're here at this last loop. So we've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 sets of 3 single crochets. So this is our 6th set. 1, 2, 3. And again, we chain 5, and then identify your first 2 single crochets here. 1, 2, and go into the 3rd one with a single crochet, and then into the next space 3 single crochets, and you repeat this all the way round, popping 5 chains in between. Did one too many there. Okay, so there's our 3 single crochets. We need to go into the 3rd one. On this round it's easy because it's the last one. And then 3 single crochets into the space. All the way round, in every space you're going to be putting 3 single crochets and 5 chains between each one. Not each single crochet, between each little set. 2, 4, 5, then into the 3rd single crochet, a single crochet, and again 3 single crochets in the space, 5 chains, and then in the 3rd single crochet, a single crochet, and then 3 singles in the space, 5 chains, and then in the 3rd single crochet, a single crochet, in the space 3 single crochets. This is how it's looking. Now we repeat again with 5 chains. And then 1, 2, 3 single crochet and 3 singles in the space. And 5 chain, should say 5 chains. 2, 4, 5, and now you can see you've actually got 4 single crochets here, but you always go into the 3rd single crochet, so you skip over the first 2 and into the 3rd with a single crochet, another single crochet in the next single crochet, and then just as before 3 single crochets in the space, and then 5 chains. I suppose with it being a cogwheel design, these would be almost like the spokes, if that's what they used to call them, of the wheel, the 5 chains. So if we have a look here, you can see now, here's your center, and you can see the little spokes there, or the 5 chain loops representing the spoke. So again, skip 2 single crochets into the 3rd one, single crochet to the next one, single crochet, and then 3 single crochets, five chains, and then skip 2, 1, 2 into the 3rd one, and the 4th, and then 3 single. Okay. Let's just have a little peep. Sometimes I just weave these in because they annoy me, but never mind. Right, you keep working round, skipping 2, single crochet into 2, and then into your space 3, and eventually you'll come on to where you have completed your round. So you'll know you've completed the round because here you have got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4 single crochets. But when you reach 5, you know that you've completed that round. You could put a stitch marker. There we go. So this is the beginning of the next round. You just basically keep working around and around and around, and it increases itself because you always start in the 3rd single crochet, and you always do 3 single crochets in your loop and then 5 chains. I've just worked to the end of this row, and you can see here we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochets. So next we're going to, just as we did before, do our 5 chains, skip 2 single crochets and single crochet in the 3rd single crochet, pop a stitch marker, in this case it's a little curvy grip, and then just work your single crochets into each of the single crochets here. Don't go into this loop here, always to the right, that's the top of your stitch, and then into the space with 3 singles. can see how it's forming that little spiral effect. Okay, so once again, just as before, 5 chains, skip 2 stitches into the 3rd single crochet, and into each of the remaining single crochets. You're increasing on each round by 1 single crochet, and your 3 single crochets into your space, 5 chains, and then skip 2, and repeat this until you reach here with your 5 chains. So I'm at the end of this round now. There's our first single crochet, second and third, and once again we single crochet in that stitch, remove the stitch marker, and put the stitch marker back in. You can't actually go wrong with this, so you always go into the 3rd single crochet and work into the single crochets you have here, and then always put 3 single crochets in the space. The only thing you really need to know is when to stop. So we'll just keep going. We do a total of 8 rounds. In this counts this little space here, this one here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we should have 6, 7, that might be 8. Let's just check. Anyway, we'll carry on as we're doing now with completing these single crochets. That stitch went a little bit loose. So working into all the single crochets just as before on the previous rounds. And then 3 into the space. And your 5 chains. Okay, so I'll meet you at the end of this round. And at the end of this round, once again, skip 2 single crochets, single crochet into the next to start your next round. Pop your stitch marker back in. We have a little peep here now. You can see here, you started with 3 single crochets in this loop, and then you had 1 single crochet here, 3 there. Here you ended up with 2 single crochets and 3 here, and now you've ended up with 3 single crochets here and 3 here, and then on this round you ended up with 4 single crochets and 3 in the loop. So we're on to 7 now. Now the maximum for this motif is a total of 9 single crochets. So as you can see, we have another 2 rounds to go. So if we just count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that will give us 7 and 8. There we go. So that's how it's looking. Right, so we just work our way round again, working into each single crochet, 3 single crochets in the chain loop, 5 chains, etc. So I'll just start you off on this round, just like we did on all the other rounds. And this time we've popped it into the third single crochet along, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we've actually needed 5 single crochets into here and 3 into the chain loop, or chain space I should say. So we've got a total now of 8 single crochets. Once more, chain 5, skip 2 and single crochet in every single crochet along here until you get to the space. That's really all you need to know. Skipping the first 2 single crochets, single crochet in the rest, and then put 3 single crochets in the space and chain 5. When you've done it quite a few times, it just comes second nature. Okay, so once more, chain 5, skip 2 and single crochet in all these. So I'll leave you to continue and I'll meet you for the final round here. So here we are on the next to last row, just completing that. Moving the stitch marker, and we have got a total of 2, 4, 6, 8 single crochets. So in the third single crochet along, we now work the single crochets just as we did before. Pop your stitch marker in. We should have 6 single crochets before we start our 3 single crochets in the space. So let's just count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then the 3 in the space to make a total of 9. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 single crochet in the third, single crochet along, and this should give us our 8 rows. So we can count again from the center. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right, I'm sure that should be 8. Right, let's have another look. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There we go. It's 8. I'd not counted, it started here. And then here we start in the next petal. Yep, that's fine. Panic over. Okay. And you just carry on now, working all the way around. Single crocheting in each single crochet. I do apologise to those of you who've grasped this right from the start, but if you're a beginner or not quite sure, I thought it would be a good idea to just talk you through the whole thing. Right, there we go. So once again, you've completed a total of 9 single crochets, 6 into the existing ones and 3 into the space. Once again, you chain your 5 and skip 2 and off you go, all the way around, just repeating what we've just done until you reach here with your 5 chain. Now I'll meet you here. So we've worked all the way around now with our 8 rows, but I thought it might be an idea just to show you how they expect you to know. Well, first of all, they said chain 5, omit the first 2, well, that will be single crochets in the preceding loop, a single crochet into the 3rd single crochet and 3 single crochets over the chain stitches. Obviously, I've substituted single crochet instead of using double crochet in UK terms. Right, for the 4th round, so here we go. In this and each succeeding round, put 5 chains between the groups of double crochets, which are, we know, single crochets. So here are our 5 chains between all these groups of singles, or doubles as they refer to them. Omit the first 2 in each group. So omitting the first 2 like we did, we've always skipped these first 2 single crochets on each round. And then double crochet or single into each of the other double crochet singles, and we did that by just continuing over them, and then it says to put your 3 doubles come singles in over the chain loop. There are 8 rounds in each motif, and they are connected by a row of single stitch on the wrong side in 2 adjoining groups of double crochets, and that's it. That's all they tell you what to do. And then they say in every second row it will be necessary to work exactly half a motif to fill the spaces at each side. So if we look at the picture, here are our complete motifs, but there's the half motif there and there. So this they would be referring to as row 1, and this would be row 2, because remember it's a lacy scarf they're making, or the design is, and there it says cogwheel design. Okay, so it is worth printing off if you would like a copy. And here it just tells you how to make the half motif, and then it tells you how to work this little edge here. So I think another video I will show you how to make the half motif and also how to work that little edge if you wish. Right, so what we need to do first and foremost now is finish this very basic stage where we've just done our single crochets and millions of chains. Right, so we know we've reached the last one. Now you could fasten off here, but it doesn't tell you where to actually fasten off or anything, so I tried both. That didn't work, so I found it worked best if I just chained 5, to complete the round, skip 2, go into the 3rd, and then we actually need, because we're matching up these motifs, we need a total of 9 stitches along here, so it matches when we match up the next motif. So 1, 2, 3, 7. And now ordinarily you'd work 3 in here, but we only need 9, so we need 2. So that gives us 8 and 9. And then just fasten off. Pull the yarn through, and there you've completed your first little motif. And I think they're really pretty. So the idea for joining up the motifs, it's not too difficult. You just make sure that they're right way round. So here we've got the chains facing us. We know this is the right way. And this is the right way. And all you do is match up the row of single crochets. So with the right side of your work facing, and here the right side of your work facing, find the last and the first of your stitches and make sure you match them up. And then you just sew them together. Now it did suggest sewing it on the wrong side, but I was hoping to be able to show you this little way of sewing in. In fact, I might as well go from here, match this one because I've got the thread there already. So I'll match that one. Pop the yarn through a yarn needle, and then see if I can get it. No, that's it. Right, so we find our very first top of our first stitch, which is just here, and from the back to the front here, just pop your thread through there, and then matching up, find your very first single crochet here, the top of the stitch, bring your needle through the front like so, and always go from the middle underneath. So the next stitch is just there, and you work this all the way up to the top. Seam, as you can see here. Just going through the loops like so. At first I worked a few using the slip stitch in crochet with the right sides together and just going through one loop, and that worked, but it left a slight ridge. So this is the best I could do it, but if anybody else has got any other ideas, I'd be really pleased to hear. I have joined some more motifs using, you know, their opposite colours to each other, and it seemed to work okay. I'll grab that in a few minutes when I finish this. I live in the UK, in Wales, and it is so hot here at the moment. Right. Now they don't look to have matched up as well as they should have done. Ah, there we go. That's the top of that stitch. Just there. That was the top of that one. And this is actually the last one. I'm having a few panicky moments with this video today, so there we are, it's worked out okay. And you just pull it gently and it brings those little stitches really nicely together. And then you just fasten in, however you do. So you don't need me to show you how to fasten in. It was just really to give you the idea of how you join the motifs together. And that's it, like so. And then when you come on and you need to join in another one, you just match up the scrolls, making sure again it's the right way round, right side facing, and then lay them next to each other. You may already have an idea how to do this yourselves, but that's it, just like that, and off you go. Right, I'll pop on again soon to show you how to do the half motif, and you can see here how I've joined some. Let me find you one where I used a slip stitch. Not a slip stitch, yes, the slip stitch in crochet. Need to go on the other side. There we go. You can see here. Slight little ridge, not too bad. But still looks fine. Okay, so once again, thank you so much for watching. I know it's been a bit of a long video, but fun nevertheless. And all we can say is thank you to the ladies years gone by for all their hard work. Right, take care and see you soon.